Hello, everyone. I'm Nicole White. I'm here with my friend, Ruth Sandoval. And I've had Ruth on here before. She has created wisdom cards, and I'll have her tell you about them. Woo! And she's going to do some more readings. So the reading last time was really wonderful and really accurate. And at the time that we're recording this, it is just about the last week and a half of December of 2020. So without further ado, let me turn it over to Ruth. Hi, Ruth.
Hi, Nicole. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Oh my gosh, we're almost at the end of 2020. And
Can you
this time
believe
last year, we had no idea
it? Not a
what we would
clue.
find.
Not
Yeah.
a clue.
So you and I had talked earlier about doing a reading for you for 2020, lessons learned, and going into 2021, ways that you can go in that would be beneficial to you. So, any
Absolutely.
questions about that?
Well, no, this is great. I wanted I love I love the readings. You made your wisdom cards, which I'm so proud of you for, and I know that they've brought you such gifts as well as everyone who's using them. And I have a friend who does Oracle, and I just I love showing people how we all have this intuitive process when we tap into it, whether it's cards or writing or art. We i think it's so important now more than ever to tap into that intuitive part of us and to connect with other people that are truly connecting to what is important and coming within, much more so than just outward, right? What social media wants of us, what advertising or news or all this stuff wants of us. Because when we go within and it really resonates, that's the best thing to follow, right? Rather than these outside sources. So I wanted Ruth to do like readings for all of us, but the way that she does readings, it's very much personal one-on-one. So she's using me graciously as a guinea pig to show what these readings can do for you. And at the end, Ruth will also let you know how to get a hold of her if you want your own reading, or to get her wisdom cards or copy of her book. Right?
Nice. Yeah, I've got my book back here behind me.
Mhm.
For the wisdom cards, I just wanted to share that people have asked me so much. Well, how do you use them? And what I've decided to do is go on Wednesdays, Facebook Live on my Facebook page, and so I do Wisdom Wednesdays, Wisdom Card Wednesdays, and we just talk about using them. So I'll pull a different card and we'll talk about it. And I'm also doing mini readings on Saturday mornings if anybody wants to just pop on and get a little mini example of what it feels like to have a wisdom card reading.
Oh, I
Um,
love that. And tell folks your Facebook page how to find you for those readings.
okay, it's Ruth Sandoval, and it's actually Coaching Wisdom on Facebook,
And I'll also link that below the video.
right? But Nicole, you were talking about how important it is to connect to our intuition. And the whole social media thing, I've never really been torn about it. And so many people say, oh, it's bad, it's bad. But social media and the internet and all of those things have brought us so many gifts. And just being able to be here today during a pandemic, sharing who we are, the whole piece about going into your intuition is to bring out that piece of us that each one is completely unique in. And
Yeah,
even if I read cards and five other people read cards, nobody is going to do it the same way. And nobody's going to do artwork the same way you do. I love the piece behind you, by the way. That's one of my favorites.
thank you.
Um, any way we express, so many people are worried about starting their creative process because they say that's been done. And it's never been done by you. So that's how I feel about my cards. It's how I feel about everything that we do.
And like you, I've been the same way with social media, so resistant to it. And yet I'm in a laughter yoga group, and during this time it's really been the way to connect. And I think it's like any other tool, it's about how we use it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
So,
I mean, if we're using it just as a way to check out, you know, to what extent are we doing that, and to what extent is that healthy for us? And in this time, I mean, I connect with people almost all over the, in many different countries throughout the world, and I'd never be able to do that any other way without first that connection through social media. So I do believe, I think 2020 has brought a lot of awareness to the true gifts.
mhm,
And again, it's how we use it. I mean, I definitely have to limit my social media time because it's easy to get caught up in it. But there's so many people and so many gifts from it that I've seen this year that I didn't see in years before.
yeah, I agree. So many new ways to do things.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a balance, and again, it's what are you using it for,
Yeah.
right? Like that old quote, I'm not going to say it right, but how you use a knife, is it used to harm someone, or is it used to chop up your veggies, right?
Right.
Same
Right.
knife, different intentions. Yeah,
Yeah. It's all about intention. So let me do a reading for you. I'm kind of excited. I love doing this.
great.
And so, Nicole, I'm going to lay out 6 cards. I've created a spread especially for this. And so I'll start by shuffling, and maybe just take that deep breath to connect to yourself and let me know when to stop shuffling.
Okay.
Okay. One more for the sound effect here. All right. So as soon as I lay these out, I will tell you what they mean. All right. So there are 6 cards, and I wish I could actually just show you the spread. I started from the left. For me, I always learned that the left is the receiving side. And so I always cut the cards once to the left, and I start from the left. Everybody has their own way, but that way seems to get me connected to myself to get started. So I'm doing uh, kind of past, present, future for 2020. So as you went into 2020, the basic part of 2020, and as you go out of it. So those are going to be the energies we talk about. As you went into 2020 last year, what I'm showing is that it was a time for you to really align with yourself. And it was a time for you to, I think, to be alone, um, literally alone a lot of the time, to get connected with yourself and to align with what you wanted at that time. I know that what you wanted then, and that would be true of anybody last December, would not look like what it actually looked like because we had no idea what was coming.
Mm.
As you went through the bulk of last year, your card for you is courage. So it had to take a lot of courage for you to get through. I think that for you, the courage had to come from within. And I don't think that it had to do with other people or going out or all of that stuff that we had to go through during the pandemic. I don't think that was the issue for you. I think that the courage had to come from within to create a new life.
Mm.
And that the pandemic happened to happen around that, and you were in it, but it insulated you even more during that time. And I think the courage has to do with you coming out as yourself,
Mm.
fully and completely.
Yeah.
And coming through that, I feel like you had to look at courage in different ways. Maybe you didn't feel strong. I don't think having courage always is a feeling of being strong.
Mm.
And for you, I don't think that's what it was.
Mm.
I think there are a lot of times when it didn't feel like you were strong, when you didn't know what to do, when you didn't know what to do to take steps to come out as fully as Nicole, the artist, the the healer, the person who wrote the nutrition book, the author, all of those things. But I really feel like it took a huge amount of courage for you to get through a lot of that and to really settle into who you are
Mm,
going through the year.
mm,
Coming out of 2020, you have made a new connection to the source within. And that source within has brought you way more power than you ever thought that you had, has brought you a really strong sense of self.
mm,
So that's what I'm feeling for you.
mhm.
As we jump over into 2021 now, it's going to be all about your vocation. And vocation is not your job, as we know. Vocation is not what you choose to do. It's not saying, do I have to do art? Do I have to write? Do I have to, you know, work with people on a different level? This is about what you came here to do, what you came here in your life. And so your vocation, in this case, for you, has to do with why you came here at all. What has been that thread of what work you actually do with people, and have you always done
Mm,
since you were born?
mm.
So that's your what you're going into 2021 thinking of and connecting with. I think that you are going to have, I'm kind of getting goosebumps here. That always tells me that we're right on. You are going to have a cause to celebrate, Nicole, and I'm not sure what that's going to be about at this point in time. Um, you got the celebration card. I feel that this is going to be sometime in the summer. So sometime in the summer, I don't know why I feel summer, but I'm just going to go with it. Something really amazing is going to happen for you, and you're going to be celebrating.
Mm.
And towards the end of 2021, I think you're going to see your strength in a whole new way. And your strength is not going to look like what you always thought it was. It's going to be different. It's going to be way more resilient. It's going to be, how what's the saying about being like a tree, and when the wind blows, being flexible so that it doesn't knock you over, that
Right.
doesn't uproot you. I
Mm,
think that's what your strength is going to look like
mm,
by the end of 2021.
mm,
So really good things coming ahead for you. I think going in with this level of connection to source is going to bring you a lot of new opportunities with your work, with your creativity, and your sense of who you are.
mhm. Yeah, it's again, it's really spot on. It has been such a profound year. And for you, I don't know if it's the same. On one hand, it lasted forever. It was like the decade of 2020, and yet at the same time, poof, it's almost gone. But there has, and for me, source is the angels, and not in any religious way except for that learning to ask. And there's this angel series I've been working on that's not, I haven't quite put out there, but yes, putting myself out, starting to put the artwork out, letting go of that it's got to be perfect or a certain way. And you had kind of touched on this before, like just having the creativity or the intuition be your own, right? It doesn't have to look like what it looks like for other people. And that's really where I've just had to have all this acceptance
Yeah,
is, the way that I go about things and do things. It's I have to be okay with the way that I go about it and stop comparing what I think the artwork should look like as opposed to what it comes out looking like. And then definitely with the vocation, um just having it be more and more with what's in alignment. I think many times we take work just for the sake of work, and sometimes we still have to do that, but getting clearer and clearer as to what we want that to look like and feel.
hmm
So I have had a lot of clarity and a level of isolation that I've never experienced before. I mean, I've been alone, uh, many different times throughout my life, lived alone, things like that. But this was definitely a different level of um, alone time than I've ever experienced, especially not being able to go meet someone at a cafe, or the connection, seeing someone that you recognize in the market and being able to give them a hug or something like that.
Yeah,
So absolutely, I really resonate um with the reading. Thank you.
you're welcome. So, and more things are coming to me. So I just want to share with you when you talked about getting connected with angels and them not being perfect or something not being perfect. And I think of your artwork, and I don't know, if you're just beginning to show some of it. And each one of those people or beings in your artwork seems to me to be these angels, and yet they're ordinary at the same time. So you have the ordinariness or the imperfections, and you have this angelic quality. And so I think everything that you've been working with and channeling is going into that. And so I've really
Yeah.
seen that.
Yeah. And it's very interesting because when I have an idea and I really try to make it a certain way, for me, it doesn't happen. But if I just, it's like intuitive writing, right? It when I just let it happen and let whatever wants to come out onto the canvas or the paper or whatever, that is, there's a flow with that, instead of trying to fight with it to make it look a certain way, because I have a certain idea of what an artistic finished piece should look like. And there has been a lot that I've just, okay, this is me. It's kind of like looking in the mirror every day, or watching yourself on video, and the first instinct is to want to pick apart the things that aren't, I might think aren't quite right about me, and then it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense because I'm me. I'm not going to change. My eyes aren't going to become, bright blue like my grandmother, and all these different things. So why not just accept me as I am, with what's good and what's imperfect, and allow, right? Allow
Yeah,
differences.
that whole thing about allowing and being naturally and authentically who you are, that's where the very strong vibration comes that is only you, is unique to you.
Yeah.
It's unique to each and every person. And I think so many people I've talked with lately during this time have had a lot of time to stop, to contemplate what's important, and to really just decide to become more real and not worry so much about how they look on Zoom, or what their photo looks like, or even their work. I've
Yeah.
seen so many people just spill out their hearts and their expression of what they're feeling. Those are the gifts to the world. Those are your gifts.
Right. And that
Yeah,
goes back to our previous conversation about authenticity, right? Just showing up as 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 who we are,
yeah,
right? The most authentic version of ourselves.
yeah. And I'm hoping that, I think sometime this summer we're going to go back on and we're going to talk about what it is you're celebrating, because I'm feeling that very strongly that something really good is happening sometime this summer. And I would love to go back on and refer back to this reading, because I love to go back and say, oh, yeah, that's what that was about.
That sounds great. We will definitely do that. All right, wonderful. I know we're going to do another reading, but we'll do that in another video. So to complete this video, was there anything else you wanted to share for this reading?
Let me take a look. I like to sit back and take an overall look. And as I'm looking, for those of you who are learning to read cards, as I'm looking, I'm also connecting to that intuition, that knowing. And a lot of times things come to us and we say, oh, that's not what that is. But if you let go of that and just go with it, those are the times when you're pretty spot on. So, what I'm seeing here and feeling from 2020 for you, Nicole, is that you were less strong in 2020, and that's not to say you were weak. It's just to say that there is so much more power and energy coming from the cards on the right. And that's something I'm just feeling. And so I'm feeling a more uh, a focused energy that's different from the focus you had in the past.
Mm,
And so I'll get back with you mid-year and we'll take a look at that too and see how you're feeling.
we'll put it on the calendar.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Wonderful, wonderful. Great. This was so wonderful. Thank you so much. We're going to do another video for 2021. Ruth, let everyone know how to get a hold of you, and I'll also post it below.
Okay, so you can reach me at ruthsandoval.com for my website. You can find my book on Amazon. The book is a guidebook for my wisdom cards, or you can buy the wisdom cards from my website. Facebook page is Coaching Wisdom, and I go on Wednesdays for Wednesday Wisdom to teach how to use these cards a little bit more, and Saturday mornings for some mini readings. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thanks everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this video. Feel free to comment. We all love some love, and happy new year.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.